This episode of Inside Gaming is brought to you by Harry's. If you go to harrys.com/rooster, you get a free trial set. Get yourself shaven right away. Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside Gaming for Thursday.
Yeah, that's right, it's Thursday, and it looks like loot boxes days could be numbered here in the States.
That's right, the good old United of. So yeah, while some other countries have banned them, the US government might be coming for our loot boxes very soon.
No, no, not our loot boxes. Senator from Montana says he'll introduce legislation that would prohibit games geared towards children from having loot boxes in them.
Yeah, so I guess the question is, are gamers and the government on the same side for once, Brian?
It kind of looks like it. So this is from Republican Senator Josh Hawley, who has gone after tech companies in the past. In this case, he says he wants to prevent games from implementing features that entice people to pay real money to make progress, aka the dreaded pay-to-win mechanic.
Yeah.
And his bill would also ban mechanics that give you a random reward for a fee. So your classic loot box design.
In a statement, Howley said that, quote, social media and video games prey on user addiction, siphoning our kids' attention from the real world, not the show, the actual real world, and extracting profits from fostering compulsive habits.
It actually does siphon attention from the real world television show too. So it's both.
Most things are doing that, if it's still on. We don't know. Let's go to that counter.
Wait, which counter?
If the real world's still a thing, I don't know.
Making money and getting people addicted to your product. Isn't that every industry ever? Isn't that what every industry's trying to do?
Of course, Bruce, yes, but we're talking about the kids!
Yes, okay, got it.
Yes, adults like us have no excuse for wasting our money, but the children.
That's true, that's a good point.
They need to be fostered.
That's a good point. Hawley also added, quote, no matter this business model's advantage to the tech industry, one thing is clear, there is no excuse for exploiting children through such practices, and I agree.
I think we can all agree with that, right?
I think we can all agree.
Brian, you might be the only person here who likes to exploit children, but that's your thing.
These kids need to have some responsibility for their actions. I feel no sympathy.
And if you are a child watching right now, that's what we call sarcasm.
Okay, well, which games would be classified as targeting children? Like all of them, or?
Yeah, what is it, Brian?
So a press release from Hawley's office, it specifically mentioned Candy Crush, which kind of makes sense, but the bill said it would look at the game's, quote, subject matter, visual content, and other indicators. So apparently all my hentai games are safe, so I'm happy.
Once again, you're an adult. You're cool, man. Don't worry.
I don't think you should have admitted that on the show, Brian.
I mean, you do you, buddy. So in a release, he said that, quote, when a game is designed for kids, game developers shouldn't be allowed to monetize addiction. And when kids play games designed for adults, they should be walled off from compulsive microtransactions. So game developers who knowingly exploit children should face legal consequences. Fighting words.
I would agree. And this won't surprise you, but the video game industry doesn't like this at all.
Oh, man, I'm shocked. Yeah, so in a response, the Entertainment Software Association President and CEO Stanley Pierre-Louis pointed out that numerous countries, including Ireland, Germany, Sweden, Denmark, Australia, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom determined that loot boxes do not constitute gambling.
What he didn't add is like other countries like Belgium and the Netherlands have banned loot boxes on the grounds that they're too similar to gambling.
Interesting. Yeah, and we've seen publishers remove loot boxes in those countries as a response.
Yeah, actually, China has forced games like Dota, League of Legends, and others to reveal the probabilities behind loot boxes, right, Brian?
Not on gambling terms, but kind of. They basically said you need to say what the percentages are for getting good items. So they're cracking down on them too.
That's really great. What do the psychologists have to say about this?
Some psychologists have argued that loot boxes do have a lot of similarity to gambling, saying that they can use casino-like tactics. Specifically, a guy named Keith White, who is executive director of the National Council on Problem Gambling, compared loot boxes to slot machines. And he said they both have random distribution of prizes, variable value of the prizes, plus visual and sound cues associated with participation and reward. So basically those trigger your urges to play. They give you increased excitement. He's saying that loot boxes do very similar things.
But what about the lack of sunlight and busty waitress that may bring me a vodka soda if I give away just enough money?
And the constant inhalation of smoke.
It's hell in Vegas.
Just recently, a study that surveyed 144 North American gamers found that there was an association, quote, between high loot box engagement and problematic gambling behaviors.
Right, so while video games have often been linked by politicians to real-life violence, Most studies haven't actually really found a link there,
Yeah.
but when it comes to loot boxes and gambling, well, it looks like there is a much stronger case to be made.
Yeah, defenders of loot boxes, aka the video game industry, say that games already give parents the tools to protect their kids.
Right, Pierre Louis said that, quote, "We look forward to sharing with the senator the tools and information the industry already provides that keeps the control of the in-game spending in parents' hands."
So condescending.
little bit.
Of course, plenty of adults spend money on loot boxes too, right, Brian?
Yeah, one gamer in Germany told Barron's that he spent more than 2,000 euros on card packs in FIFA 19, the dreaded FIFA Ultimate Team mode. So apparently it costs a lot of money to get players who are good at faking injuries.
Boom!
Got him.
Burn soccer. Nice.
That's what we call it here in the good old US of A, where actually lawmakers here have been sounding alarms about loot boxes for the past few years.
Yeah, they had. The Federal Trade Commission last year said it would investigate loot boxes after New Hampshire Senator Maggie Hassan spoke up about the issue.
Yeah, it's holding a workshop in August to examine issues related to loot boxes, which is the first time a federal regulator has done so.
Brian, what did Hassan say?
So she said it's important that we protect young video game players from being taken advantage of by loot boxes and other microtransactions that can be predatory and often mimic gambling.
So I guess the question is, could a bill like this pass? After all, we're living in an era of a very divided government here in the US, so maybe video game gambling is not exactly on the top of list of the priorities.
Yeah, that's true. But it could be a bipartisan issue, which is very rare in this country. Lawmakers from both parties love ripping video games when it's convenient. And the fact that this bill is aimed at protecting kids means that it could get support from both parties.
Yeah, the bill is called the Protecting Children from Abusive Games Act, so they're not really being subtle here.
Yeah, President Trump himself hasn't weighed in, has he yet, Brian?
No, he hasn't weighed in on loot boxes specifically, but he has definitely blamed violent video games for mass shootings in the past, so it doesn't seem like he's a fan of video games.
Yeah, and if this bill passes, it would be cataclysmic for big publishers, especially ones like EA, who rely on loot box mechanisms like FIFA Ultimate Team for a major part of their revenue.
Brian, what are the numbers on that FIFA Ultimate? It's something like 15 billion or so. It's some crazy number that they're making every year.
Yeah, it is insane. FIFA Ultimate Team alone makes up for about half of EA's live services revenue. I think it's hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. One analyst has estimated that a third of all EA's annual sales came from loot box related mechanism. Activision Blizzard, 18%. Take-Two Interactive, which is over Rockstar and 2K, 11%. So this is this is a huge part of their revenue. So we can expect the industry to put up a really big fight over this.
But other games like Fortnite have gotten rid of randomized rewards in favor of battle passes and premium currencies like V-Bucks, which do cost real money, but get rid of the randomized rewards.
Which I appreciate.
Sure.
Not like loot box gambling. And Fortnite has shown you can make a lot of money from that. It made $2.4 billion last year in digital revenue.
Right, so I guess what we're saying here is if loot boxes get banned in the US, get ready for a lot more of those season passes.
All right, Adam, Brian, are loot boxes gambling? Do we know? What do you think? What do you think?
Technically, yes.
Yeah, I think they're gambling. Brian, what do you think?
You're spending money for a randomized reward. I think that's gambling. The industry argues that you're not getting a thing of monetary value in return, but it still does have value, and there's stuff like skin reselling sites. So I think you're getting something of value out of it. It seems like gambling to me.
Yeah, I feel like Team Fortress 2 and now Fortnite have done a really good job of not randomizing rewards when you pay into it, and instead just giving you things that you want if you pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately this falls on the consumer, and if you're a of-age adult, that's on you to determine whether this is something you want to support or not.
Absolutely.
But I definitely agree, this should not be targeting children. I think that is bad, which video games have done for years. I was an underage child playing M-rated games because you do what you gotta do to see blood.
I just wish that Candy Crush would just give me money. Instead of rewards, I just put in $1 and then it gives me $3. Just like a real slot machine. Why can't we just do that?
Crazy.
I just wish it would give me my mom back.
It never will, Brian. Never will.
It might. Keep pulling that lever. What are the sound effects on them? They're like, ooh, yeah. Kill me.
Sweet.
We'd like to remind you that this episode of Inside Gaming Daily was brought to you by Harry's. If you go to harrys.com/rooster, you get an awesome trial set, which is worth about $13. Harry's has been sponsoring us for many years. They are a very awesome sponsor of ours, and we love them very much. and they're keeping this show alive and the dream alive, and that dream is keeping you clean shaven in all the places you want to be. Harry's is a great product. It is a simple and clean design with quality, durable blades, and it all comes to you at a very fair price. Harry's bought a world-class factory in Germany that's been making some really quality blades for over 95 years. They've received over 20,000 5-star reviews on Trustpilot and Google. You can get Harry's replacement cartridges for just $2 each, which is a steal, which is half the price of a Gillette Fusion Pro Shield. All of Harry's blades come with a 100% quality guarantee. You can get a $13 value trial set that comes with everything you need for a close, comfortable shave. That set comes with a weighted ergonomic handle, a 5-blade razor with a lubricating strip and trimmer blade, rich lathering shave gel, and a travel blade cover. Even guys like me with a beard can use a Harry's trim every once in a while, underneath the neck, on the sides, to clean up those hard to reach spots, and Harry's does it with precision and accuracy. So for you, the Inside Gaming daily viewing public, you can get a free trial by going to harrys.com/rooster. Check out Harry's today. Thank you, Harry's.
Yesterday, more than 200 people walked off the job at Riot Games protesting the way the League of Legends developer handles sexual discrimination lawsuits.
Yeah, that's right. This is going to be one of those important episodes where we talk about something a little more elevated than people following hot tweets at each other. So,
although Randy, if you're listening, please don't stop on Randy Pitcher on the tweets there. We love them. We love, just keep coming.
I'm just waiting for the 2 books to come out.